In this video, I'm going to show you the top performing stocks in February 2024 in the FTSE 100. Finance stocks did very well from around the middle of the month when inflation data came out around the 14th of February. The data showed that inflation was flat again in January, showing that it wasn't going away. And this indicated that interest rates wouldn't be cut as fast as the general markets would have liked. The FTSE 100 returned 0.1% in February, which is abysmal compared to the S&P 500, which returned just under 4%. But we can see here on the FTSE chart that the market did very well after the inflation news, as the finance sector is such a big player in the FTSE market. Even though the whole market didn't perform very well, there are some stocks that still outperform the rest. So let's get into the top performing stocks of the last month. Rolls-Royce is a British multinational aerospace and defence company. They develop and deliver complex power and propulsion solutions for safety-critical applications in the air, at sea and on land. They make engines and engine parts for various vehicle types, and they also make some very expensive cars. The stock has done very well over the last few years since their recovery from the pandemic. This will be due to the many wars that need special and specific parts for the different vehicles that they use. And they supply plane engines for the aviation industry, which was in total shutdown in the pandemic and is now continuing to grow. It's important to note that once a contract has been won by Rolls-Royce, they will continue to provide services to these customers through servicing or replacement of old or faulty parts, meaning that they don't sell just single products, but they sell a whole service. The stock price rose 23.5% in February after their amazing earnings. Beazley plc is a British parent company of specialist insurance businesses with operations in the UK, Europe, US and Asia. Beazley's stock price was up 17.8% in February after announcing $300 million of share buybacks after their amazing performance in 2023. Although they said that the pandemic and the wars around the globe have caused them issues, they had to cut bonuses and make some changes in the company. They just continued to raise insurance premiums and they made a record profit in 2023. When their net profits are sitting at 30% and their stock prices continue to grow, I don't think that their shareholders can really complain. Smurfit Kappa plc is a corrugated and paper-based packaging company based in Dublin, Ireland. I'd never heard of this company until now, but if we take a look through this list of their products, I'm sure you will recognise a few. The stock price was up 17.29% in February. They announced strong earnings for 2023 after their poor stock performance in late 2022 and early 2023. They also signalled that the announced merger with a similar sustainable packaging company, WestRock, will close in July of this year. They will create a new global leader named Smurfit WestRock. DS Smith plc is a British multinational packaging company headquartered in London. Another plastic-free packaging company. Who'd have thought that February 2024 was the month for packaging companies? DS Smith's stock price rose by 16.6% in February after the speculation of them merging with the packaging giant Mondi. At the start of February, DS Smith issued a statement confirming they had received an offer from Mondi and it was under consideration. And then at the start of March, it was confirmed that Mondi had issued an offer and an agreement had been reached to combine both companies, and this valued DS Smith at $5 billion or 373 pence a share. When this announcement was originally released in early February, their stock price was sitting at around 270 pence per share, and now the stock price is sitting at around 340 pence per share. Barclays plc is both a UK bank and an international bank, providing banking services to both UK businesses and consumers outside of the UK. They provide retail banking services, credit cards, mortgages, investment banking, wealth management and much more. Barclays was up 12.6% in February. Now this was mainly due to the inflation news in the middle of February. The inflation data came out, like I said earlier in the video, showing that inflation had been flat for the past 3 months. This was not what the regular consumer would have wanted. Now this gave the outlook that interest rates were not going to be coming down as quickly as we originally had thought, and banks perform well when interest rates are higher, as they can make money from the difference between what they're paying us in interest rates and what they're actually getting themselves, and Barclays is no exception. Those were the top 5 stocks in February 2024 in the FTSE 100. At the end of the video, I'm actually going to show you the top 10 worst performing stocks in the FTSE 100. But now let's just get onto the 5 remaining top 10 stocks in the FTSE 100 in February. IHG Group is a hospitality company. It's sort of in the name. They own hotels. They reported good earnings in February for last year and also announced a buyback program of $800 million. The share price was up 12.12% in February. Standard Chartered plc is a British multinational bank with operations in consumer, corporate, institutional banking and treasury services. Despite being headquartered here in the UK, it doesn't actually have retail banking in the UK, and around 90% of its profits come from Asia, Africa and the Middle East. The stock price was up 11.8% in February. The CEO announced a share buyback program after he announced that the stock price was actually pretty bad. But as I stated earlier, finance-related stocks bounced back after the UK inflation data earlier on in the month. Another bank, Lloyds, is another consumer bank. They are one of the largest in the UK with 30 million customers and over 65,000 employees. Lloyds stock went up 10.02% in February. It bounced up after the inflation news, as I keep saying. They delivered a mixed full-year update for 2023, and the main reason for the shares not booming in price is the fear of the car loan repayment. They made a provision for this looming fine and the repayment, but this could actually have an impact of around £450 million. Melrose Industries plc is another aerospace company, just like BAE or Rolls-Royce. They're about 5 times smaller than Rolls-Royce and about 8 times smaller than BAE Systems. Their stock price rose 9.71% in February. I think this has the same thesis as with Rolls-Royce and BAE. The wars going on around the world and the opening up after the pandemic is causing their stock price to boom. Kingfisher plc is a British multinational retailing company headquartered in London. It has over 1,300 stores in 9 companies, and some of its brands are B&Q and Screwfix. The stock price went up 8.56% in February. Now for the worst performing stocks in February. WPP plc is an advertising company. I believe they posted disappointing results in February for the year 2023, as there is a big fear of AI taking over their business. Imperial Brands is a tobacco company. I think their stock price will continue to drop year on year. The government is taking steps to eliminate smoking and tobacco use, so there's going to be more restrictions on their business as the years go on. Anglo American is a mining company. Their stock price has dropped after some recent bad news in the mining sector, specifically around precious metals and diamonds. They had to cut a load of jobs and write down a load of their business. Endeavour Mining plc is another mining company. In the same position as Anglo American, the mining companies are suffering at the moment. Glencore plc, in the same position, another mining company. Metals had a tough time in February. Again, it's a cyclical business. Reckitt is a consumer goods company. In February, they were going through an issue with a baby formula that they own. They're actually being sued for, well, yeah, I would Google it. I'm not going to say it in the video. And just now in March, the verdict has been reached and they have to pay out $60 million. Not good for the company. Fresnillo is another mining company. Again, not good month for mining companies. Barratt Developments is a house building company. I don't think housing is doing particularly well right now. They posted bad earnings for 2023 and their stock price subsequently tanked. Airtel Africa plc is a call center company. Now this is quite interesting actually, because it's something to do with AI and it's potentially disrupting their whole business. They basically provide outsourced call center services. But recently the AI boom has taken a chunk out of this business, as AI could potentially replace the call center and the people within a call center by being able to respond in real time to people talking to it on the phone. This was proved recently by Klarna, as they recently removed 2/3 of their customer service calls with AI bots, and they actually performed better than the human workers. St James's Place plc is a financial advice company. They changed their business plan in 2023 and they started refunding customers if they weren't satisfied, and unsurprisingly shareholders were not happy about this, as they returned nearly £500 million back to their customers. This may prove to be a successful strategy in the long term, but in the short term it has destroyed their stock price. So that's it, the top 10 best and worst stocks in February 2023. Thank you for watching this far into the video. There are probably some stocks that you'd like to see on this list for next month, or actually probably not if you don't want them to be in the top 10 worst performing stocks. But let me know if you hold any of the stocks that I spoke about in this video, and let me know if you'd like to see this update for next month.